Immigration debates today are loud, emotional, and deeply divided. People argue about legality, borders, fairness, and security. But most of those arguments skip the most important part of the story: how immigration actually began in America. For most of United States history, there were almost no immigration laws at all. If you could arrive by ship and weren't visibly sick, you were generally allowed to stay. There were no visas, no green cards, and no federal quotas. This wasn't because the country was especially welcoming. It was because it needed people. The early United States was expanding rapidly. Land needed workers. Railroads needed labor. Factories needed hands. Immigration wasn't controversial when it fueled growth. It became controversial when the country began to change. As industrialization accelerated in the late 1800s, large waves of immigrants arrived from Ireland, Italy, Eastern Europe, and China. Cities grew quickly, cultures mixed, and competition for jobs increased. Fear followed, not just about economics, but about identity. The first major immigration restrictions weren't about borders being overwhelmed. They were about who was considered American. In 1882, the United States passed its first major federal immigration restriction. It didn't limit numbers overall. It targeted a specific group. For the first time, nationality became a reason to deny entry. From that moment forward, immigration shifted from being informal to being regulated. Over the next decades, laws expanded federal power to inspect, approve, and exclude immigrants. Ellis Island became a symbol of opportunity, but also of screening and control. After World War I, fear intensified. The country experienced economic uncertainty, political radicalism, and cultural anxiety. Immigration laws responded by imposing strict numerical limits based on national origin. These quotas were designed to preserve the existing demographic makeup of the country. This period reshaped immigration permanently. Before these laws, the concept of illegal immigration barely existed. Afterward, people could be undocumented simply because the law said the door was closed. In 1965, a major shift occurred. The national origins quota system was eliminated, and immigration policy was reorganized around family reunification and skilled labor. This decision transformed the demographic future of the United States. Today's immigration system, including debates about borders, asylum, and enforcement, sits on top of this layered history. That's why the argument never seems to end. People aren't just debating policy. They're debating belonging, identity, and national memory. Understanding this history doesn't tell you what policy to support, but it explains why the issue feels so emotional, and why it has always been. If you want context instead of talking points, subscribe to Origin Stories, where modern debates are traced back to where they began.